I'm trying to think, because I know that there were questions that I wanted to ask, but I wrote them down, and now, of course, I can't find them. Thinking.
It is okay. The things, because I'm not going to tell you what they were.
How dare you?
Yeah. But so I will tell you that how we left it is Armand had brought 3 roasted chickens that Yulia immediately grabbed some of before Gorath basically possibly bathed in them.
Yeah. I was all over that.
And then Armand was to show you 2 rooms. Very comfortable rooms, apparently. And that's where we left it. So how might you guys have gone from that point to, would you have just gone to a room and gone to bed, or was there anything else you wanted to do? Also, we need to level you guys up. Not level up, but you wanted to do, if you're sleeping, we could also roll you some new hit points.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we could do that.
Which the formula of which is number of hit dice.
Is a lot like, the formula of rocket science, it seems like.
I love my formulas. It's just, if only I could remember them off the top of my head.
Those are fantastic notes, McMuffin. Blank sheet.
I've got 5 hit dice. Okay.
Right. So I know that we do. You get hit dice. You get to roll a die. You start with 6. You get a free 6. Right. A dice per level. A die for Yulia healing.
Is
okay, so
6, yeah.
Do we get 1 die for every level?
Yes. You get to roll 1.
Okay, so we're at 5 now.
And you keep that many dice, one of which is automatically a 6. And then because of your thing...
This formula is so confusing.
I know. I want to make it easier, but we're already there. So Yulia gives you an instant 6 for her healing, right? You get an instant 6 because you started at level 1 at one point with full. So there's 2 6s. You roll 1. You get to roll 5 dice. It doesn't really matter, but Yulia gives you an extra dice. So that's what were the other things that gave you a die? Now I can't remember because we haven't done this forever. Oh, con and mod.
Yeah.
Con mod. Yeah, cool. That works actually.
So, number of die per level plus con mod, and then 2 of the die per level are automatic 6s. Does that sound about right?
Yeah. So really, it's the number of dice will be because you don't give another die to roll. You just give a 6. That's the part of 12.
Right.
Okay. That's where cool. So 5 dice because you're level 5. However, whatever your con mod is, roll that many dice, right? And then you add your con mod as well to the total. That's where it gets confusing.
Okay. All right, I'll just follow the formula.
Cool.
It is not resolving this formula. Oh no.
Is it the parens? 5 keep high.
Oh yeah, it's probably my parentheses.
I don't know. Cool. So you got 5d6 plus 2.
God damn it.
So you rolled 5
Oh,
your level.
I'm doing d6. Duh. 5d6.
So,
Keep eyes. That should... Nope. Okay, fine. Whatever. bastard thing.
10, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 plus 2, 22. Is that about right? If I'm replacing the 1 and one of the 2s with 6s?
Let me think about
What's the KH?
Keep highest.
Keep highest.
How do you just character level? Okay, keep highest. Maybe I just failed math. That's why it's so confusing for me. Which I did. Keep highest. Character level -2. So
We're level 5, so that would be keep your highest 3. And the formula is only this confusing so that it works no matter what level you are.
Mm-hmm.
And also
22.
The one that I posted is the rules for if you're being treated by a healer. So it assumes that 2 dice are automatically a 6. So that's why 2 dice are removed from the dice pool. That's what that...
McMuffin, yours looks right? Like, so you got 5, 2, 2 plus 12, right?
My current HP is 25, so do I get... do I get like 22 extra hit points? I don't think that's the case.
No, 22 becomes your total.
Yep.
Yep,
So you went
it
down.
reset.
Oh.
You rolled terrible.
Wait a minute. Wait, can I not take this roll? This is
No.
ass. Wait, I got literally more HP. Come on.
You got burned.
Please. Fuck.
If
You gotta be fucking with me.
No. So I actually do like it like this. You don't have to roll, but if you wanted to roll, and you did roll, because like
I got fucked.
today you could be having a bad day, but tomorrow you could have a better day, right? Like for whatever
Oh,
reason,
man.
you got burned, but you rolled like ass. What do you want? What do you want from me? But still, 22 is pretty good.
Yeah, I like it because
Damn
it's
it.
like it simulates, having a bad night's sleep or getting a cold or
Yeah. So McMuffin, why did you roll so shit? Why do you feel so bad today? Why did you feel worse today than you did last night or the day before?
He's homesick.
Have you been writing letters to
All
your mom
this
and dad?
talk of vampires and all this talk of vampires and not being home has made him just sad, and he wants to go home.
Does he want to go home? Okay, that's cool. Because we haven't really checked in on your family necessarily. Have you been writing letters to your family?
Yeah. McMuffin has been writing letters when he can.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he wrote one when he got into town, but beyond that, that's about it. So he's just been writing. I think he's just kind of been like, I miss my family.
Cool. And maybe you didn't sleep all that well, which would explain it.
Yeah, that works.
You didn't get the super rest. I just think it's more fun. I know it sucks, but you only lost 3 hit points. It's not that big of a deal. And tomorrow you can always roll again when you rest, right? So it's fine.
And watch me get all ones.
I think that's pretty cool. So,
And my con mod isn't 2, it's actually 1, so 21 would be Yulia's hit points currently.
Cool. That's fine.
12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, yeah. 22 for Yulia.
But again, that +2 should just be a +1, so 21.
Oh, 21,
Okay.
right.
That was my bad.
That's still not bad. You figure
No,
if
not at
you're
all.
5th level and a good roll would be 3 or 4 each die added up, right? So 20 is probably about average for 5th level.
20
right?
is what I was at last time, so I'm
Yeah.
up 1. Woohoo!
Cool.
I must have slept well because I got a few extra hit points. I know that I rolled terribly the last time I rolled hit points. So
What do you have?
God, I wish I were me.
Also,
27?
Go ahead.
Did you get 27?
Gorath.
You said?
Yeah.
Cool.
27.
Nice. That's pretty sweet.
Unrelated note, I just realized there was food in my microwave that I totally forgot to grab.
At least it's airtight, right? Isn't it? Are microwaves airtight? I think they are.
No.
Sad.
They're just shielded against microwaves.
That's true. We took
At
the
my,
RV out, and that the only thing we didn't do is use the microwave.
At my parents' house, they have a microwave in the kitchen that when you turn it on, it will interrupt Netflix or just the Roku in general. Like, it will make it stop working for as long as the microwave is running, which terrifies me. I'm like, I'm definitely dying of some sort of death rays coming from this microwave if I stay here.
Microwaves generally aren't that harmful.
It's apparently enough to mess with the Roku.
I generally don't find them very useful. I went 13 years without one, but the house came with one, so now we have them. I'm a toaster
Free
oven
microwave.
guy.
Nice.
Yeah,
Toaster ovens, yes.
that's what
Toaster
I like.
ovens are awesome.
They are.
I'm a fan.
Yeah, you can't
It's the
toast
only
any
way.
microwave.
Yeah.
Nope. I really want a toaster oven. That's one of the things that I miss from living with my parents is their toaster oven.
Fantastic. Love them.
Yeah.
And they're not expensive.
No,
They're not expensive.
they break a lot.
Toaster ovens?
Well, the cheaper ones.
Oh.
So the RV comes with a convection / microwave, however that works. But we did not use it. It's the only thing. We actually full hookups. That was pretty cool. AC all night.
Sweet.
It's good. Up in Santa Fe. Fun stuff.
Mucho fun.
Okay, so what you guys went to bed, I assume, right? Because we're rolling. We're resting. Yulia, you had a dream.
Alrighty.
You haven't had a dream for a while. It's kind of interesting.
I feel like it's been a while since I've been to sleep.
You guys didn't sleep for multiple sessions, actually.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you haven't dreamed for a while, and you haven't re-rolled your stats for a while.
Yep.
But you leveled up, but you didn't have to re-roll. Or maybe we did roll.
Right.
I can't remember. Yeah, so in your dream, you were hilariously, possibly ironically, and definitely interestingly, looking at yourself in a mirror. And it's one of those, like, hazy dreams, but, like, you're looking at yourself, and, like, for whatever reason, you're fascinated. Maybe it's your subconscious telling you, like, mirrors are tricky. You've recently learned about mirrors. And so you're looking at yourself and almost, like, testing yourself to see what happens on the other side. Because you know it's on the other side. And, it's doing mirror things. But then, like, for whatever reason, you look away and you look back. And the mirror is now no longer, like, mimicking you. And you notice your mirror image is holding a bloody knife, and you have a bloody hole in your chest where your heart used to be. Well, not you don't. You look down at yourself.
But the mirror does.
Yeah, the mirror does. You look down at yourself in a gasp, right? Like, and just before you wake up, you know that you're fine. But you wake up like cold sweats. Very vivid dream. That's your dream. You have great dreams, man. Nice job.
Wonderful. Yeah, no kidding. I need to lay off the ice cream right before bed.
Yeah. But what, might as well start with you, Yulia. Like, how does your night go? Like, what time is it when you wake up? How did you leave it? You guys are in a strange, so Armand showed you you guys are in rooms off the courtyard that is open air courtyard, like maybe on like one, 3 in a row wings. Just maybe he would have put you there to, because it's a strange house. He would have sensed like you guys don't know this vampire all that well, perhaps. And,
all right, so I just decided to roll for it, and I got a 7. So I'm going to say it definitely freaked Yulia out, and she probably tried to stay in her room and just kind of go back to sleep, but she was too unnerved, and so she probably kind of snuck out of her room and just wanted to go look around the manor.
Cool. Is it dark or light out when you get up?
I imagine it's that hour where it's still nighttime, but you can tell that the sky is getting lighter and you can see a little bit better, So
maybe like a 5 a.m.-ish kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And the 7 was just for like how you reacted?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And what do you do?
She's just gonna wander around and take a look at I think she's going to pay specific attention to all of the different decorations and knickknacks and stuff that Maxwell has lying around, just to try to piece together anything that she can figure out about him. But in general, she's just wandering around and enjoying that time of the night / morning where you feel like you're the only one awake. Mm-hmm. It's just quiet and private. So
that's every single morning of my life except for the last week. But
it's a great time.
It really is my favorite. Cool. So yeah, you woke up, and just to give you some semblance, like the rooms are really nice. Like you got it's like one of the most comfortable beds you've ever slept in, and it's not like gaudy or anything, but like well pointed. Like I would guess it is is the classic 4-poster, with drawable, meshy. For mosquitoes or whatever, because you are open air, right? Like you're outdoor. Mm-hmm. When you open the door, you're on a hallway that is open air, right? Like so you can look up at the stars.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's his front. It is a absolute perfect night out, right? Like gorgeous stars, probably really good stars because there's no electricity in this world. So...
Oh, yeah, I forgot that.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Does that mean there's no, running water?
There is no running water.
And no plumbing?
No plumbing.
Yeah.
You would have...
Let's not think about that. Anyway, continue. What were you saying?
You would have a chamber pot,
Scented chamber pot.
Possibly, yes.
Please, I'm eating curry. Don't do this to me.
I won't tell you about the...
And it's spicy.
The RV sewer hookup then. So
God, no.
You open the door, and that's what it's like, it's a gorgeous, it's still, there's no breeze. It is... The stars are super bright, and you get right at this moment you're getting mostly moon glow, like it's a big old chubby moon, not full yet, but on its way, like maybe chubby sliver to half. So you walk out, and it's a hallway with a railing, and you see rooms across you, and then you're in it, down is a courtyard and up is just sky. That's kind of what it's looking like. And it's kind of like a wraparound hall, hall that you could go to the other side of the rooms as well. And there's stairs that go down.
All right. Can I see anybody still has a lantern or something on that you can see underneath the door? Does it look like I'm the only one up?
That's a good question. Gorath, are you up or are you still asleep?
Oh, Gorath is asleep.
Yeah. I would think Gorath needs to be woken.
Yeah.
More often than not. McMuffin, are you awake or asleep?
He's awake. He had a terrible night sleeping.
Right.
As well.
Cool. Is your light on? Would you have turned your light on? Are you reading? Are you writing a letter? What are you doing?
I think McMuffin is he sort of was having so much trouble sleeping. He's just sort of been staring at the ceiling.
In the dark.
And he occasionally looks at his friends.
Are you doing that?
Yeah.
Because you guys are in separate rooms.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just like staring up at the ceiling, kind of laying in bed, thinking.
Been there.
Yeah, I thought we were all in the same room. Because that would be more funny, actually.
Oh no!
well.
You're all in very identical rooms with. They're just like stupidly nice bed. No mirrors. Interestingly, chamber pot. Yep. Fresh water. There's probably some like snacks, like some fruit or nuts or something in a bowl. There's probably a small decanter of booze, that sort of thing. There's definitely like a small desk for, if you needed to write. It's essentially like, laid out like a very nice hotel would be. These are clearly for, intended for guests.
I had a question for McMuffin, actually. What's Birdie up to? How's that whole situation coming along? Oh, he just left. Okay, never mind. I guess I'll have to wait. Does Brian know what's up with Birdie?
I do, actually. So,
oh dear.
Of your possessions, I don't know if you noticed it. They were there, right? Like, you may or may not have noticed that the brooch on your bandolier is not there. Was absent. Also, Birdie was in a cage.
Okay.
And it was covered, right? Like, and he's in the library. So Birdie is downstairs. McMuffin he can tell me if he took Birdie out of there or not. But that's
okay.
That's how that's just the condition. All your other goods and possessions were just like neatly stacked on.
I'll do another
downstairs.
2d6, 5. I'm going to say Yulia did not notice that the brooch was gone.
Yeah.
So she's unaware so far.
Cool.
But we can wait for McMuffin to get back. But if he doesn't have his light on, if nobody else has their lights on, I think Yulia's just going to continue walking and probably take the stairs down.
I'm back.
Okay, how's it looking?
I just took it out the oven. I'm letting it cool so the inside internal temperature cools off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Don't cheat.
Well, I think
run it.
I think you were gone when I asked, but I wanted to ask McMuffin how Birdie was doing. Did you take Birdie up with you?
So I didn't. You weren't here when I told them this. So when you guys got to, there was two things. I told Yulia that her brooch off her bandolier was missing, and Birdie was in a cage downstairs, covered. Now, whether you would have taken him out of there or not, that's up to you. But that's the condition you saw him.
McMuffin wasn't really thinking about Birdie when he first came back because he was tired. Mm-hmm. So he couldn't check up on Birdie the moment it gets relatively 5 a.m., 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Because he's literally been staring at the ceiling for an hour and occasionally starting to write a letter.
Yeah, okay. So you're tiptoeing, or you're just kind of taking the quiet morning stroll around?
Yeah, quiet morning stroll.
Cool. And yeah, so along your walls, there's it's probably even to the point where Armand had put fresh flowers, like maybe it's either on the door or right by your. Right outside the door on the wall, there would be a little metal hanging to the wall place for fresh flowers, and all the rooms have them, but your rooms have fresh flowers on them because Armand is like that. That's how he just throws down. So you saw those. There are definitely the random, like art pieces and that sort of thing. The niceties, like a vase here or just like cool sculptures there. I don't know that there's anything that seems so weird that it would catch your eye to be like, wow, what the hell is that? Random, but he definitely has eclectic taste, definitely some war kind of things. So there'd definitely be like some sort of military stuff, maybe some weapons, just like more ornate than possibly useful.
Okay. And where did you say Birdie was being kept?
Birdie's in a nice sized cage with a cover down in the library where you guys engorged on chicken and were discussing.
All right, I was double checking because I think that would, barring anything jumping out at her, I think that would be the place where Yulia is just drawn to when she has her time to herself. So I'd say she probably makes her way down to the library.
Is there anything you're looking for? Like, what would you want to know or be looking for? Or are you just randomly just, like, snooping?
Probably snooping, just randomly, but, and I think we've actually been over this before. Yulia's trying to put together any information she can about Malik and his connection to Maven Mag or to time magic or at this point to mirrors or anything like that. She's trying to figure out what the heck is going on, and she feels like she doesn't have enough information.
Okay. And so what would you want to do to gain that information, perhaps?
Well, again, library. Powers of observation or scanning through. Because she didn't know about the mirrors when she was initially looking through his private library, so there might be something else in there that she could look through.
Yeah, cool. You want to roll me some wisdom for perception?
Sure. God, that and 1,000 today.
Ouch.
Yeah, you're not doing too well, and I'd even go so. A couple things. Even like with a 6, you would realize there's not a mirror in sight in the library.
Well, we have noticed that.
B, I would say your curiosity. Maybe you pulled a book off the shelf or something and dropped it, and it made a huge clang, like knocked over some like silver platter or something that had, like bottles of something on it, and crash, made a huge noise.
Wonderful. Well, definitely scares the crap out of her, and she's just like, oh shit, trying to clean up and make it look like it did before, and try to fix it before anyone comes down to check on her. Or anything like that. Yeah,
and so you're cleaning it, and just from behind you, you hear Malik's voice, like, Armand can get that.
Definitely, like, shouts in surprise and stands up and whirls around. Heart going that fast. Yeah.
And you spin around and it's even creepier because like Malik is standing there in a robe and he is kind of smoking. Like he's been out in the moonlight.
What?
Like
what?
Exactly. And he said, "Sorry, I heard the noise and I didn't mean to startle you."
And Yulia's just like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to knock anything over. It's fine. It's nothing broke. I'm sorry. Just kind of nervous babbling.
And he says, not to worry at all. It's not a problem at all.
She kind of calms down enough to realize what is going on, and you said he's kind of like faintly smoking in the moonlight.
Yeah, because you said it was starting to get light, and you could kind of assume that he came from the outdoors, like he was getting his tan on or about to.
And that's what I was going to ask. Is this how you go about becoming more tan? Is this your routine?
And he says I do love to watch the sunrise, but I could never watch it for very long.
I think she's just interested in the whole routine. Like, exactly how much sunlight can you handle?
That's a good question. It kind of depends time of year. I mean, he would probably be able to get very specific because, you know what I mean? Like,
he's lived it for a long enough time.
Yeah, and
he knows the routine.
Yeah, if you're burning yourself, you're like, sometimes there's clouds. You know what I mean? Like, so it would be an answer like that. It'd be, I do it partially. This version of me, this semi helps me differentiate from the previous me's that have lived here over the years. Meaning himself, and then he has to concoct a new life. And he says, strangely, before, like, I'm a vampire that's a morning person. as odd as that is to say out loud, it is true. And this is my way of, like, taking a peek and absorbing getting a little bit of my life back while threatening my life, which is confusing to be sure.
Yulia probably doesn't understand that so much, but I think I can, personally. Living
sure.
A little dangerously.
Yeah. One is never so alive when you are in the face of death, perhaps. He might say something along those lines.
I can't hear you, babe. Can't hear you.
Damn it.
There it goes.
There you are.
Oh, she's gone.
She's back.
No, she's back.
How was that?
Just
now
fine.
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Okay. Yulia will... I think we covered this last time, but I can't remember what his answer was, so either we'll just pretend like I'm asking this for the first time or
Sure.
something like that. She wants to know if there are any other vampires, within a travelable distance. Is it something that you can send a message and meet up, or are you basically by yourself?
Sure. And he would say there are vampires everywhere. We leave signs for each other. Non-vampires would have a very difficult time finding us. As you would imagine, we try to keep to ourselves.
Probably a good idea. Understandable.
And there are definitely, there is a network of vampires for sure. He would also admit that the mirrors help him keep track. I think when we originally met Malik, he is a merchant of sorts, and he mentioned that he has lots of birdies, which you guys misunderstood. But he has a network of informants that he talks, if you want to call it informants, but just like people that he's in contact with for information. And as you could probably imagine, the being able to mirror walk is very advantageous for information.
Oh, and that is definitely something I wanted to ask last time. Does using do using the mirrors make it easier to go long distances? I mean, is that something where you can really be transported very far, or are they more arranged by distance? Because when we were in there, it felt like we couldn't get a good grasp on how far apart these locations really were.
Right. And he would say, he would probably say you are able to travel distances, but they are clustered together, joined by, you guys walked through a not so much a mirror as a passageway, and so maybe this would jog that memory. But like there are connecting. He would probably use the term doorways that lead to different sets of mirrors, but by and large, as you're walking down, you are now in the Cloud City range, given his mirror, but you were not, because you were somewhere else, right? You guys probably don't know, well, you definitely don't know, where Naven Mag's mirror was, right? You ran out of string. Somewhere there's a bunch of string. That's like, but you pass through. You guys would definitely have the sense, like when you went through that thing. I think Gorath went through it first. That it was just like weird. It wasn't a mirror so much as it was more like something else, and you just walked through, and it was no big deal. But you could possibly, he would describe that like probably just like that. That there are just like, he would either use the term door or portal between sections, and he would probably elaborate like he's been through a number of them, but as you guys would probably also realize, it's a little confusing there. It's kind of hard to find your way. Mm-hmm. And as someone who is light sensitive, and you could also see where mirror travel might be slightly difficult for him as well, given that there is light. So, but that kind of thing. Do the networks of mirrors stay consistent, or do they change when you get in there? I mean, is it possible to sort of map out ways of travel? There are ways to map. He would say yes. There you can map out, but also yes, the mirrors change as the mirrors move. One can move a mirror and does. Just like you would if you were moving houses, right? Like, yeah. So it is definitely a constant changing atmosphere, and quite dangerous, he would also say. What do you know about the? I think again, I'm trying to remember the questions that I asked versus the questions I didn't ask. It's okay. Go ahead. What do you know about the mirror creatures that we came across? We came across birds and a spider, and even what looked like faceless human beings in there. Mm-hmm. He would say I have not experienced it, thankfully, yet, but everything that enters the mirror realm creates a mirror image of themselves in the realm. So what? There are two mirror humans and one mirror orc now, new, floating around in there? As I am told, and as I understand it, that is the fact. I have yet to see myself, thankfully, Because what a sight that would be.
Okay, I gotta catch up on writing really fast. So, Gorath or McMuffin, is there anything you guys want to do instead of just listening?
McMuffin will finally get up and start heading over to see what Birdie is up to.
Cool. So McMuffin, you would kind of open the door and have that same thing. It's probably getting a little brighter now. Like you can probably. It's that early morning where you can still see the stars and yet not totally see the sun. And you make your way. You guys have been through this because this is really like the entrance to his house. It was like a gate, and then you come into this courtyard and then into the house after you've walked through that. And you guys are kind of the second level, and so the stairs go down to the main house. And you walk down, and then you open. You walk, past the little entryway that had the bar with all the nice bottles that Gorath loves. And you walk into the library, and you see Malik standing in a very elaborate robe. You would have probably, you tell me, foregone your robe and instead noticed that your elaborate clothes were neatly folded and pressed and cleaned and dry.
McMuffin immediately grabs them and he says, "You know where a private place I could put them on?"
Well, they would have been in your room. You would. I meant to tell you that before you came down, and then.
Okay.
You would have put them on in your room because you would have found them and been very. Hell, you might have even put them on and slept them. You wanted so badly to have your clothes back. But so you're in your elaborate clothes and you walk into the library and you see Yulia talking to Malik in a equally elaborate robe, and you see the big cage with a cloth over it, where you assume Birdie is.
McMuffin will approach.
Yulia says good morning.
Yeah.
Muffin sort of it's 5 a.m., right? Muffin sort of looks at Yulia, his bag underneath his eyes. Says, yeah. And then he goes over to check on Birdie.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like you in the morning,
and
Gorath.
Right. Okay. I am very agreeable because I want you to go away and let me sleep.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. McMuffin goes to the cage.
Yeah. And there's a cloak or something. There's some cover covering the cage.
Yeah, like you would with birds for night time. Just like put. Yeah. And it's a very nice, elaborate cage. Large. Go ahead.
Take off the cover.
Yeah. And there's Birdie, as you remember him, except he has a couple of little horns sticking out of his head.
Huh?
He now has horns.
Muffin sort of blinks
small.
for a minute.
Yeah.
Birdie? Why do you have horns?
I'm gonna imagine that Yulia goes closer. Birdie had like some weird toe situation going on too. Did he have extra toes last time I saw him?
And
he had an extra talon, and he was last you remember burping fire still. And Malik would say to you, he said, "This seemed the best solution while you were gone. I have no idea what is going on with that bird of yours. Is that even a bird?" He would say. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Well, he was a bird when I first met him. He seems pretty fine. He breathed fire at one point, but we don't talk about that. I don't know what's going on.
I mean, we've noticed some of those strange changes before, but it looks like it's getting worse. And Yulia's definitely going to be very creeped out, but interested. Should I do I guess, intelligence check to see if she can figure out if she's heard anything like this before? Would that be wisdom or intelligence? I asked this question.
I think intelligence, yeah, because you're trying to recollect if you've ever heard of anything like this.
I think
more of a memory thing.
On. Just a second. Where's my paper? I think it's a +2, but let me double check. So
11.
either a 10 or 11 if I can get,
Yeah, that's cool.
There it is. Okay. Intelligence 2, okay.
I mean, you've heard of birds molting, and so you're like, is this some sort of weird thing like that? You don't know about the breathing fire and growing horns necessarily, or extra appendages.
Yeah, I don't know that any of those things sounds innocent, so she's definitely worried about what's going on. This started happening.
Yes.
McMuffin, do you remember when this started happening? Like your character?
I think it started happening. If I'm correct, I think it started happening when we got out from the fallen cleric. Birdie started doing this like weird transformation, from what I'm gathering.
That's what I remember, but Birdie.
After he came back from the dead, he was never the same.
He was not right. He was not quite right. Interesting.
And are you saying this out loud?
Dead when you wasn't it? Didn't the bird come back from the dead before we went and saw the fallen cleric?
Yes. And that's what I'm trying to think. It was either after the cleric or it was after he got brought back the first time. Well, technically the second or third time. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was definitely after our revival. Birdie was just flying around with us, and Birdie started shifting after that.
Yuli, go ahead.
Are you saying this out loud?
I'm asking. Yeah, I'm asking.
Yeah, you guys are discussing this.
Okay.
Yes.
Looking at Birdie. Is Birdie looking at me?
Yeah. And he probably would burp up a fireball.
Birdie.
And move his wings a little. And Malik would definitely be like, this bird came back from the dead.
Like we did.
Haven't we all?
And he actually laughs out loud for that. Good point. And he says...
Julia's... Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, Malik was like, I apologize, but this seemed the best solution for the bird. And he probably says... He probably pauses before he says bird, like, bird. Coming back from the dead is a tricky thing.
Yulia. Yeah. She asks Malik if he knows where she can attain some holy water, if not just the temple in the city. Is there any closer place, or should I just go back there? I feel like she should go back anyway to talk to the priestess and whatnot.
And then because I'm thinking now, like Malik is not thinking. Would a vampire have holy water on front?
Hey, he has garlic apparently. I mean, if he's not bad.
Well, he was inferring that garlic is delicious and that that vampires still like garlic is hilarious. But holy water is a different thing, I think.
Oh.
I think he said, and I don't think he would. I think he's already like. He would be like, he wouldn't say it in a way like obviously he doesn't have holy water, but he'd be like, I'm fresh out of holy water. He'd probably.
I imagine she's not asking him personally if he has some. Most people don't just keep holy water on hand. But if there's like a smaller temple closer to this area, or if, the main temple is the way to go.
And he would actually be like, that is actually a piece of information I cannot provide. I'm not sure about that. But he would press a little into how did Birdie die? To the group.
Sorry, there's a ukulele outside.
Nice.
I don't remember actually.
Didn't Birdie die when we were heading to McMuffin's aunt's cottage area, and we were attacked by those birds, those weird bird things, and he was killed in combat. And then we buried him, and then the next day when we, went that way again, he had been dug up, presumably by cats. And then when McMuffin did the whole descent into death to try to fix the time warp with his parents, Birdie just magically kind of appeared after he came back to life. And nobody asked any questions at the time for some reason.
My guess is McMuffin would remember that he specifically asked Death for Birdie back.
Oh, okay.
I totally.
That's right.
Remember that?
Yes, I do. Okay.
But yes, everything else you said was factual.
Okay. It's been a little while.
Oh yeah, it's been a very long while.
Yeah. And she'll just ask Malik, are you sure you haven't seen anything like this happen before? I mean, you've got a hell of a lot more life experience than we do, and I don't know. Nothing?
he's like, he's got his arms crossed and like his finger on his chin kind of thing, and he's like staring intently at Birdie. He's like, yeah, birds are not my thing. I got nothing on that. And his face has worry in it, which is a new expression for him. He's like, I don't know what the hell that thing is. But
well, it's my Birdie.
Yeah. And he said, I didn't want
Birdie would never act like this.
He would say he's basically apologizing for keeping it caged, but he's like, this was how I felt like this was the best path for that. And as he's saying that, he looks at you, and he says, also, and he takes it looks like a solid box, the size of I don't know, like the only thing I can think of is a snow globe or like a Magic 8-ball sized box. And he opens it, and inside is your brooch. And he said, I don't know what this is, but this box is airtight and soundproof, and I felt like this brooch troubled me a little. So I kept it locked up.
I'm sorry, I must have misunderstood. The brooch just kind of appeared inside of this completely sealed box?
No, he put it in there.
Or Malik put it there?
Yeah, he put it there.
Okay.
He said, only 2 of your possessions troubled me. One was and he does the same thing, long pause, bird. And this, let's say, brooch. Something about this troubled me. I can't quite explain it, but it does. You're welcome to have it back and wear it and do whatever you would like with it. But I felt keeping it away from just like keeping it concealed would possibly be the best answer.
Yulia also looks troubled by this because this was the brooch that was given to her by the High Priestess at her temple, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so she will kind of hesitantly take it and look at it, just wondering, what is... She probably doesn't understand what the problem is, but at the same time, she's been through enough at this point that she is suspicious and kind of is willing to listen to Malik. So she'll go ahead and I think she'll just pull out a handkerchief or whatever she happens to have on her person and fold it up and tuck it away. Mm-hmm.
And just then, Armand enters with a large platter, and the kitchen opens, and just an incredible waft of bacon comes from the kitchen. And there are eggs and some bread and that sort of cheese and what have you. And we
immediately hear thumping. Yeah,
exactly.
We immediately hear the thumping of Gorath's feet downstairs.
This would definitely eventually waft into his room. But he sets that down and heads back to the kitchen.
What was it? What was it that he brought again?
Bacon.
A huge platter of breakfast, including bacon
and eggs.
Yeah,
all the good stuff.
And probably vegetables like tomatoes and fresh things.
There will definitely be, a loud groan and the sound of and eyes bloodshot but generally rested looking Gorath will meander in and without looking at anybody just sit down and start munching on bacon.
Again, Yulia will rush forward and make sure to grab some stuff before Gorath just finishes off all of it. McMuffin, you should get in on this before it's all gone.
He will when I finish his bread.
What was that?
He will when he finishes his bread. And there was delicious bread.
Sorry, I'm with you right now, so that's why.
No worries. Cool.
We'll just assume McMuffin and Yulia tuck in too.
Yeah.
And Malik would say, because you brought her up, about the High Priestess. You've met her. What was your measure of her? He might use those words.
That is an interesting question because just meta, I'm trying to remember. I know that there was something that was weird about her, but
got your hand and shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she looked at the mark and she was very, very interested in that, and she took a blood sample. Yeah, so I think Yulia will tell.
Totally normal.
So she'll tell Malik about the blood, and she seemed to take notice of the mark and talk about that.
Yeah, and you had told him that, and
yes,
and he would say, "We'll just pretend like you repeated that." And he said, "Yes," but what was your measure of her?
Gorath will just kind of grunt and be like, 5'5".
Yulia says that she wasn't that the way that Yulia would have expected a high priestess of Kailash to be like. She seemed very distant and sort of above it all, when that's really not how you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be very much open and warm and caring, and she was especially put off by, again, the blood that was just very strange and done basically without explanation. And we've already experienced dealings with the cleric who used our blood to create golems, basically. So it was just, she acted in a way that was concerning and not the way that Yulia expected her to behave.
And he...
Especially, I mean, considering that the victims of the crimes that are going around town, those are also very blood-based. They had the blood removed from the body. Am I remembering that correctly?
Yes. Well,
yeah.
They were... There was no blood to speak of, yes. And the incisions were surgical, practiced, studied, skilled, let's say. So, and just to reiterate on that, what we had learned previously is the bodies definitely were killed somewhere, not where they were found. And Malik does the he's nodding and just kind of thinking, kind of almost pacing with his hands behind his back. And he says, because he knows you're of that faith. So he wanted he was specifically asking you, right? And he would say, that's not far from the impression I got from her. I have not met her, but she called upon me at this house.
She called upon you?
She came to the house during the day. You might imagine I was predisposed at that moment. He would giggle. Armand met her and invited her in. She explained it from the perspective of, meeting the people. And Malik would say, this is not uncommon. And he's trying, and he kind of slowly thinks about it because he's trying to be tactful because you are a religious person. And he says, religious figures often come to my neighborhood to meet the people.
Yeah, I think Yulia understands.
Okay. And that he would try to just be as discreet with that as possible. So it's not unprecedented. It happens, often. People want the rich people. They want to meet the rich folks. But he would say, Armand got an interesting vibe from her. And he's like, he wasn't exactly sure, and I'm not exactly sure, but he got the feeling that she was trying to charm him. And the way he says charm, you can tell he doesn't mean, flattery.
Right. Yulia looks kind of disturbed by that. I think that with all of the other stuff that has been happening in the past, day or so, she hadn't been dwelling on her meeting with the High Priestess, but now that he's talking about it, she's thinking back to how the meeting went, and she's becoming more uncomfortable. Like, well, this is very disturbing. If she has Oscar,
she has Oscar.
Yep.
She probably does have Oscar.
She's her knee-jerk reaction is to be trusting of anyone who's a part of the Lady of Light religion, or what are they called? Temple. I don't know. Temple of the Light. I don't know.
Sure.
So she's being forced to kind of think of it from another angle, and she doesn't necessarily. It makes her uncomfortable.
Of course.
So she'll ask Malik how long ago that the High Priestess actually came into town. Has she always been here, or was she a recent transplant? I think we talked about her moving around a bit and going to visit the different temples.
Yes, and he would say that's part of the interesting part. I don't know if he would say I pride myself, but he's like, he would say something like, I am very good at obtaining information. She's been very difficult to find out just about anything about. I do know that her coming and going was no secret. She arrived, 3-4 months ago. There was a big to-do about her coming.
3 to 4 months ago, you said?
Yeah. She's been in town for... I don't recall, he would say, if she came because of the murders or was here for the murders.
But very similar timing, in the same the same neighborhood.
And he would say, I share your concern, because he's looking at your face and he can see the concern in your face. I share your concern about this matter specifically because I have a very hard time trusting anyone I can't find information out about. That's always he wouldn't say alarming, he'd say, that's always quite interesting to me.
Interesting, yeah.
Interesting.
Most people don't just appear out of whole cloth. They have a trail.
Exactly. And he would probably throw out his hands, meaning designating you three, such as you. I knew quite a bit about the three of you before I ever met you. You know what I mean? And he would say it with kind of like a smile, like almost prideful smile, right? Like he's
really?
Not trying to be a dick. Yeah,
we play things so close to the vest. I don't know what you're talking about.
If you actually say that out loud, he would giggle.
Yes, Julius. Julius does a little self-aware, like, really? That's crazy. We never talked to anybody about this.
Yes. And he says...
That's not true. I talked to my mom.
You said what?
No, McMuffin, that's not true. I talked to my mom about it.
Right.
That was... Yep, you got it, McMuffin. You got the joke.
Don't tell anybody who asks. I think it's cool.
And Malik would say, for that reason specifically, not specifically. He's talking to all of you, not
mm-hmm. Right,
not to Gorath. He said, that is exactly why I have also been so forthcoming. And he probably would actually point out, like, I hope you don't think I would give any of my personal information to just anybody. He would probably also point out specifically, like, it's very dangerous for this information about me to get in the general public. But because, I think he would probably leave it at that and let you kind of draw your own conclusion from that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely fair.
I won't tell nobody nothing about you. I'm good when it comes to keeping secrets, except for when it's like personal secrets. But other people's secrets, as long as I know that it is a secret, then I can not talk about it. What were we talking about?
Yeah, that's all. He would say, I don't have a solution for... how would he phrase that? He said, it is possible we could do... He would say it like, I have been trying to do a little bit of snooping on using the mirrors. There is a mirror in the room you met her in. The really nice kind of, behind the... You guys met her, just to jog your memory, at the temple, and there's, the back room of the temple is the really lavish place where, they would bring quote-unquote rich people in to, make them feel important or whatever. And there's definitely a large mirror in there. And he would say he is, taking a peek at that mirror, but because that room is so full of light, and the temple is literally full of light. Yes, he is. Yep. He's not had good luck. The mirrors have told him very little thus far.
Well, we might be able to return to the mirror world, to the mirror plane, and see if we can't do a little snooping of our own. But won't we be seen? If we're looking on the other side of this mirror in the mirror plane, won't we be seen by someone who happens to be in the room, which tends to be a fair number of people?
Oh, the normal people can't see through the mirrors. Like, you guys can look into a mirror. You can't see on the other side, but you can just walk through and be on the other side, right? Like, a mirror to you guys still looks like a mirror.
Okay.
Well, is this Church of the Light Lady or Temple Mistress head woman, is she a normal person? And you're asking Malik?
Just in general.
In general.
And to the floor.
Yeah, Malik would say, that's a great question, Gora.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to know. I would like to have more information just so I can be... I think, and he would say, I think all of us had similar experiences with her where something is just off-putting, yes? How sinister it is, I don't want to speculate without more information. That could be just her way. How could I know? And then Birdie burps some fire to break the tension. I'm not hearing you guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay.
I can hear you.
I can hear you. Girl.
I can hear you.
Okay, you guys can't hear Yulia?
I can't hear Yulia.
I can hear Yulia.
I could not. Let me refresh, maybe. Hold on. Wink.
Yeah.
Okay. How's that, Brian?
There, I can hear you now. Except I think it grabbed.
Okay.
Oh. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
I can hear you.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Sorry, I was like, that's a lot of silence from you guys. Like someone must be talking because I wasn't on the screen. Can you repeat whatever it is you said?
Yes. Okay. So because this is Yulia's sphere of the world, it's something that she believes very deeply. This is kind of her area. She can tell what Malik is trying to get at, what the gist of what he's kind of asking but not asking them to do. Mm-hmm. But she also knows that the three of them have had experiences in the mirror world, which shows that there are dangers there. We've been attacked a couple of times there, and we need to figure out a way to combat that, or at the very least be more prepared this time.
Absolutely. And he says, while I can't go with you, because he would say that at night, the temple he's been there at night. Like that's when he would go. It's empty. There's not much to tell, and he's had a look around, but seen nothing that he could, that he would understand. He would definitely offer to show you the way, and at least he says, I can show you the way and help you. On the mirror side, I'm not sure how long I can stay, or like if something attack, like who's to tell like how that will go, but at least I can help protect you from any dangers in there. As to like, what's going on, I'm not sure. He can say that he has seen. When he sees her, she usually has a guard with her, like a guard meaning guards, plural. Mm-hmm. And again, he's trying to tiptoe around because, again, religious things would be a thing, right? Like, I don't know their purpose, but I suppose it's not completely weird for a high priestess to have a guard, her own guard. That's fine. But that might be something to ascertain. Like, but I don't know. I don't know exactly what to do. He would be right there with you.
Okay, Yulia's a-okay with that, but I think she'll, after a moment's pause, she'll ask if it's okay if she can go to the temple again today, and ostensibly to get some more holy water to purchase some, or to receive some for a donation, and maybe just kind of scope out the place from the other side of the mirror first before we do that.
Mm-hmm. You mean like just go there in person? And
go there in person, take a look around, see if the high priestess is there, and if not, just see what the layout is. Scope it out, basically. Yeah.
For sure.
McMuffin's for it.
Yeah.
McMuffin will tag.
Since you're fresh out of holy water, which, I understand. We do certainly go through it.
True, and you need holy water for some of your spells, right?
I do, absolutely. I haven't bought any.
Cool. So I'm sure you could find holy water in town. He would say, but they'll definitely just give it to you. I'm sure at your temple because you're of their flock. Sounds good.
Well, and that's the thing. That's one of the things I originally didn't get holy water is because I'm a priestess. I can make my own holy water. Why do I need to buy it? But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with buying it. We're getting it elsewhere.
That's a good question. Like, I don't know. Like, clerics have to buy their holy water usually as well, right? Like, I don't exactly. So, yeah. I don't exactly. That's a great question for all of D&D, really. But let's just go with the D&D idea that holy water is, maybe there's some priests that are holier than others. That maybe the high priest, I don't know. That's a great question.
It's like extra holy water.
You have to be a bishop at least.
Yeah, exactly.
Certain pay grade. That's funny. But yeah.
that would be
So
fun.
Yulia would like to go into town and visit the temple again. And, she can either do that alone, or she can do that with, McMuffin and Gorath. But that is what she would like to do.
Oh, she did have good tea.
She did have tea? Remember that? It's been a little while.
It was
Yeah,
delicious.
I'm pretty sure. It was delicious.
Okay.
Tea.
Yeah.
We've had tea offered to us several times at this point.
It really is. You guys are like the tea time Scooby Gang. It's great. Absolutely. So the plan is, and Malik would say, we'll do this in character. Malik would be like, would it make sense for some of us to travel by mirror and Yulia and some of us to go in person? For, let's say, for backup? Or are you saying you would like... Because he agrees that going there specifically makes a lot of sense. Just like, see if you can have another meeting with her, maybe. Because really all you're doing... The idea is we're trying to ascertain... We're trying to get some information, like understand what's going on.
Absolutely. No, I think that would be... a good idea to have me go in person, and then you guys can keep tabs through the other side of the mirror, and that might be a way we can figure out if she can see in the mirrors and if she can use that, or if she gives any indication.
Right,
and then you go ahead.
But Malik would definitely interrupt and say, "I feel like one of us should accompany you. Maybe we split the party." Which is always a good idea. He'd probably hilariously say.
Split up.
I like that idea.
I like the idea of Yulia. Malik would say, "I like the idea of Yulia having someone with her."
I'll come.
Yeah, it's up to you guys. Malik cannot go, or he would offer.
Right.
He would say that I cannot go, or I would just offer to go with you. But I am happy to be your backup at the mirror, and anytime you need something, and he would say, "It's the big mirror. I think you can't miss it." The rest of us could be behind the mirror, literally.
Well, if McMuffin pipes up and says that he's willing to go, I think Yulia will agree. He's not as ostentatious and eye-catching as Gorath is. You go somewhere with a big half-orc.
I'll be your bodyguard.
Yeah.
So I think, yes, Yulia and McMuffin can be the in-person squad, and then Malik and Gorath can be behind the mirror.
And Malik
through the looking glass.
Yeah,
so
Malik would grab Gorath by the shoulder and say, "It looks like we're the mirror muscle, my friend."
Yeah. She said that I'm too pretty to go out in public.
That's right.
It's absolutely
People just can't keep their eyes off of you. It's true.
Mm-hmm.
I think Malik is ostentatious too.
I'm amazed that Gorath just properly pronounces ostentatious 2 times in a row. That's it's impressive.
Ostrich tasties.
Ostrich tasties.
I don't think that's the right word.
Okay.
All right.
So this sounds like a Scooby plan, although we're at time. Thanks to our...
Oh, we are?
We are.
Yeah, I was totally going to offer that if everyone was down, we could go a little longer, but I do actually think this is a good stopping point, unless we just... Yeah.
We'll get into it.
Yeah, I think it's a good stopping point.
Yeah.
Yeah, because...
We had a nice conversation beforehand. It was good.
It was good.
Yeah. I have a feeling, though, that we will have a big arc coming up. I
feel like something big is going to come up.
Oh, yeah.
I have that feeling as well.
Ryan's just over here cackling evilly.